You know what's better than a year in review? A month in review? A January reading wrapped? Because let me tell you, just 3 books into the year, and my brain is already rattling with amazing takeaways from what I've read. However, I want to keep this short, so I'm just going to share one spoiler-free thing from each book that I can't stop thinking about. The Carrying Poems by Ada Limon. I tried to squeeze in The Carrying as my last read of 2024, but I didn't finish it in time, so it became my first January read. Now, I don't usually consume poetry, but Ada Limon came highly recommended, and right off the bat, I recognized the first poem. I'd actually seen it in the New York City subway, loved it, took a picture of it, but now I can't find it anywhere, so here's someone else's snap of it in the subway. The collection is full of stunning lines, but one that really stuck out to me was from the poem called Trying, where Limon is trellising tomatoes. Even now, I don't know much about happiness. I still worry and want an endless stream of more. But some days I can see the point in growing something, even if it's just to say I cared enough. I often catch myself wondering if what I'm doing will lead somewhere, if it's the right thing. But maybe instead of asking myself, did I do what I was supposed to do? I should instead, as Limon suggests, ask, did I care enough to do it? Because if there's joy in an act where I simply just gave it my best shot, then that should be meaningful in of itself. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix by J.K. Rowling. I'm a 29-year-old attempting to read Harry Potter all the way through for the first time. Yeah, I know. I've actually made it through book 4 twice before, but I always get stuck at Order of the Phoenix. Harry's angsty, Umbridge is terrible, and it's just really fucking long. But this time, I finally was able to push through. One thing that I can't stop thinking about, the Thestrals, aka the creatures that only people who have witnessed death can see. I just love them conceptually because they're such a tangible reminder that people's lived experiences shape how they see the world. And I think that JK is actually really strong at this, turning ideas into creatures. Dementors, for example, are clearly just depression physically manifested. And the Thestrals, they're the weight of the grief you've seen standing right there, unnoticed by those lucky enough to have not gone through that same pain. The Dispossessed, an Ambiguous Utopia by Ursula K. Le Guin. I love Ursula K. Le Guin. The Left Hand of Darkness is one of my favorite books of all time, and I feel like I could spend an entire video, frankly, unpacking The Dispossessed. The novel follows Shevik, a physicist from a moon-like planet called Anaris. On this moon-like planet, there's an anarchist society where there's no government and private property. At the beginning of the book, Shevik travels to the Earth-like sister planet called Eurus. This Earth-like planet is capitalistic, so there is wealth, hierarchy, and inequality. Through his eyes, we see 2 fundamentally different ways of living, one built on individualism and the other built on collectivism. Now, Ursula K. Le Guin is already a fantastic world builder, but one thing that really stood out to me is how she highlights the differences between this Earth-like planet and moon-like planet through the languages spoken on each of the worlds. On Anaris, people are highly discouraged from using possessives. So, when referring to my hand, they would refer to it as the hand. There's also no word for stealing or ownership because that doesn't exist in their society. And even interpersonal relationships are described as being shared, not had. I can't recommend this book enough. The language thing is, again, just one of the thousands of things I like from the book, so I do really recommend it. Thank you so much for watching my January reading wrapped. I hope you enjoyed some of my takeaways. I'm right on track for my reading challenge of completing 36 books this year. And for next month, I already have a few books that I know I'm going to read. They Called Us Exceptional by Prachi Gupta. This is a memoir that unpacks the model minority myth. Of course, the 6th Harry Potter book. And finally, Born by Jeff Vandermeer. Can't wait to get into more weird. All right, looking forward to seeing you next month on Emily Read This.